Traders from around the world, welcome to your Friday real life stock review. This is my boy Javier. This is who I'm staying with. Absolute legend. There's the girls over there being amazing. Enjoy this Friday afternoon stock review. Thanks so much for watching. You rock.
Bye-bye.
Hey traders from around the world, thanks so much for watching that video with Javier and myself. Hope you're doing absolutely sensational. Miami treating us exceptionally well. Weather's beautiful. Just a wonderful experience thus far. Market a little bleedy today, a little bearish. I did have an iron condor that expired perfectly today. 285, 286, 239, 238 iron condor on the SPY. So this analysis and these candles are actually pretty interesting. You had a white candle gapping up into this 100 simple moving average, right? So you knew you're going to retest, and then here's the evening star reversal pattern that shaped up really from yesterday. And obviously we broke down today. So my thoughts on the SPY at this level is we probably trade down to here. Now I'm not for sure 100% obviously if that happens, but what I can say is I am on vacation next week, and usually when I'm on vacation the market likes to sell off. So I'm going to set up a few orders to get into another bull put spread. Another bull put spread if the SPY does trade down to that 257 region while I'm gone. And that spread will be like a June or July, probably 239, 238 again. Something pretty insanely far away. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the SPY. We did get stopped out of some calls on the Qs. I did want it to retest. Here was the hourly chart. So we had a weekly options newsletter set up on the Qs. And we did retest, and honestly, we almost got triggered in yesterday, and truly, I should have just canceled this order yesterday because, again, you had a very obvious evening star reversal. If I had all the candles, yesterday was a one black crow, and again, this was a retest gap. So the thought was, and at least my thought perception is, with this particular pattern right here, if we're going to fill the gap, we're going to go all the way down, which is pretty much exactly what we did. You know, so that's pretty much what we got on the Qs. Got stopped out of that particular trade today for a 1 hour loss, but we do have some some calls on Square, ticker symbol SQ, which actually closed up pretty nicely today. So I like that particular position. That one looking a lot better. Some other spreads that expired worthless. JD.com for me. It got very close. We watched this one all day long. In fact, we also took a day trade on JD.com at one point during the day. We got in bearish here, had a stop up here based on pre-market, and exited right around here. So we got out for 0.2R loss on JD-CAP. And anyway, but I did have a bull put spread 36.35 expire worthless today on JD.com, so that's fantastic. Disney also had a 96.95 bull put spread expire worthless on Disney. So again, today, option expiration, expiring worthless. Momo, closing at 36.33. So I had a $35 covered call on Momo, which I could have truly bought back just a few days ago as it was bouncing off the 200 for less than I sold it. But realistically, I don't mind getting and selling Momo here, as this was about a 3.89R gain as far as the actual swing trade's concerned. So this was a trade that we got put some shares all the way back here in late November, early December, back around $25, $23 and some change. So I like the fact that we wrote it up. Here's the weekly. And again, down here, we're just buying off that 100 simple on the weekly chart. That's really all we were doing. So buy low, sell high, Momo expiring in the money. Congratulations for anyone who got a chance to do that trade. Also had an MU put sale. This one was a 44 for April. So that expired today. And I do plan on doing another one, more than likely a June 40. So I'm expecting Micron at this particular level to really do something like this, trade down a little bit lower and potentially bounce, right? It doesn't have to, of course, but you have a very nice bullish candle here that we did close below the low of that candle. The low was 54.01, and today we closed at 50.62. So again, the low of this 50.68, closed at 50.62. So that close says to me that it's just going to be a smidge more bearish. Likely we'll roll down and really test that 100 simple before we get a bounce. So I'm looking at doing another put sale on MU around 40 for June and excited to see what that's going to do. Pets. So I did have a put sale on Pets that would have expired worthless, but I did just simply buy it back yesterday. Here's the weekly level on PETS, and at this juncture, pretty big sell-off on Pets, but feel free to keep your eyes peeled for this one to potentially trade down to 30.82. Yep, so that's pretty much what I got. I did have a few requests for today. Let me get these pulled up really quick. All right, so LRCX, Lam Research. So I had a request from Christian for Lam Research. And here's the daily chart on Lam Research. And this did have a pretty interesting bearish gap and go on earnings. So we gapped down. We had a nice bounce off the 100 simple. We gapped down again yesterday, closed below the 100 simple. And at this level, here's the weekly chart. Weekly chart, we closed below the low of last week. Also, there's some pretty interesting support right about here. So more often than not, LRCX seems to me to be just a smidge more bearish than bullish. If I pull up the exponential moving averages on a weekly chart, yeah, it looks like we could. Not saying we will, but we could trade down to the 179 area. So if you're looking at buying Lam Research, that's probably the location that I would just keep an eye on. AMD with earnings right around the corner. Here's kind of what I'm expecting of AMD. Some type of double bottom to come in on the weekly. We did retest the 100 simple moving average from bottom. So that's the weekly time frame. And again, with earnings right around the corner, my thought is as long as AMD does not close below $9 and a penny, this one should hold up okay. I'm really thinking AMD gaps down, wicks down here, and then ends up getting bought up sometime next week. But again, if it does gap up and really opens above 1077, that could be a pretty decent gap on AMD. Here's Caterpillar, ticker symbol CAT, and Caterpillar. Again, earnings right around the corner. This is earnings season. Day traders been having an absolute just bonanza trading some of these gaps. I like this flag pattern on Caterpillar, and realistically, the candle from the other day was pretty bearish candle. So I'm thinking we could probably gap down on Caterpillar, and it'd be a pretty decent gap. Honestly, anywhere it opens would be a gap that's worth watching. If you come over here to the exponential moving averages, you'll see that a gap below those would be relatively bearish more than not. Here's your long-term moving averages, and you have a really long way to go. Now, if we gap up on earnings, specifically an open above 159.30 would be pretty ideal for anyone looking at playing a bullish gap. And then Hawaiian Airlines, ticker symbol HA. Here's the weekly chart on Hawaiian Airlines. And what's interesting and important is it's keeping a close support level with the 200 simple on a weekly time frame. Earnings is also right around the corner on Hawaiian Airlines. So if it does gap down or you get a little bit of bearishness and it trades into 36 or 35.70, this general area where that 200 is, that would probably be a pretty decent spot to pick some up. If, of course, it gaps up on earnings, a gap above 42.15 would really be pretty ideal, and I think that could cause Hawaiian Airlines to have a nice little bullish pop. Ladies and gentlemen, tons of stocks and a myriad of things to cover in the afternoon swing trading room today, which is going to start here in exactly, well, 17 minutes and 4 seconds. So, yep, we're going to be covering Finance Friday, looking at a lot of options expired worthless for some traders, setting up some new ones next week. I'm going to have some triggers set up, some automatic stops, some OCO orders. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, on vacation, cruising the Caribbean, going to Grand Cayman, Jamaica, Ochos Rios, with a bunch of other traders and having an absolute blast. And then next Friday, when we get back, we are flying to Montreal to hang out. So for those in Miami, I will see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock at Monty's Raw Bar. For the rest of those in the world, stay classy. You are amazing. And remember, love life, live life, and trade it. I'll see you in May. Goodbye.